folks, welcome to the very first Top 100 on the Flipside of board games.
Go.
I got my buddy JT here. I'm Sam. Thank you for joining us, but this is kind of a celebration of reaching 5,000 subscribers. We did that about a week ago, and now we're at about 5.3. So 300 more subscribers in about a week ain't too shabby. Ain't too shabby. That's pretty good. I like it. How long did it take you to come up with your top 100?
A while.
A while?
It took me it took me a half a day one time just to kind of sit down and just start hacking things, and then after that it just took me an hour or so every day to think about it and refine it. And if I had to put it together, I don't know.
How many
hours?
days? 20 hours?
10 hours. I don't know.
So his is probably going to be the better top 100.
No, I don't think
I
so.
threw mine together. I did not look at my past top 100s, though.
Nice.
I didn't even use...
any Viking games? You deleted all Viking games?
There are no Viking games in my top 100.
Perfect.
And if you believe that, you don't know me. I just went off of what's on my shelves and what I've been playing recently, what I've been playing since I've been moved up here. If you've watched my top 100s before, hold on to your hats.
Sweet.
Because
I like that.
there was some serious upheaval.
When was your last top 100?
Oh,
2019?
No, I don't even think it was. Well, maybe. No,
Did you do a top 100?
Maybe it was right before I left. Yeah, right before I left, 2019. So it's been almost 4 years now. Yeah. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, my number 100 is a game that probably a lot of you have not even heard of. It's one that I actually did talk about to some extent before I left the Dice Tower. But I was just kind of reintroduced to it. I kind of do this a lot. I'm driving people crazy because I'm taking so long to say the actual title of the game.
You've been doing that to me for 10 years. So I think I've seen every one of your top 100s at some time over the past.
But now...
There's no difference. It's not like you get older and wiser.
You're sitting here in the room and you can throttle me if you want to. So I better go ahead. All right, my top 100 is a game called Glory, A Game of Knights. Glory, A Game of Knights is it's a worker placement game, but in the theme of the game, the workers that you place around the board represent your knight traveling to these different things and doing these different things to get ready to go to tournament in Paris and two other cities that I can't remember right now off the top of my head. But it's a really neat worker placement game, and I love the dice rolling system that comes along with it.
Huh, I haven't played it.
So yeah, I haven't played it yet with JT. We've got to get it to the table, but I really enjoy this game. It's one of those kitchen sink games where it's got a lot of different things going on, and you kind of feel like you need to do all of it, but you don't. You just need to kind of manufacture your strategy and stick to your strategy and do it the best that you possibly can to have a good... there is a lot of randomness to it because there is some die rolling, but there's also a lot of dice mitigation as well. So I really enjoy the game a lot. That is Glory, A Game of Knights by Strategos Games.
Nice. Yeah, have you showed that one to me?
I showed it to you.
I'm pretty sure you have.
Not played it.
Keeps going back and forth. Right on.
Yep.
Well, my number 100 is a much more mainstream game. No, just kidding.
No.
My number 100...
Ticket to Ride.
I'll go with the name first. Ticket to Ride is not in my top 100. In fact, Ticket to Ride did not make my top... 500, 1,000, I don't know. My number 100 is Sagrada.
Ooh, nice.
One of the things you'll find out about me is I love dice drafting. And Sagrada is such a beautiful... it's my number 100, but it's such a beautiful little, tapestry of dice that you create. It's such a nice presence on the table. It's every single time a new person comes over, we're teaching them Sagrada. Yeah. And on top of that, we have the app. And I think Melissa, my wife, she plays the app every single day. Every single day.
Wow.
I don't think since January-ish when we got it, Like, I don't think she's missed a day playing Sagrada. I'm not even joking.
Mental note, do not play Sagrada with Melissa.
No, you don't play anything strategically like with Melissa unless you want to lose. But
Yeah.
no,
Play for
Sagrada
second.
is a beautiful game. I mean, it's a gorgeous game. I love dice.
Totally agree.
Who's that from? Floodgate?
Yeah, Floodgate.
Yeah.
Daryl Andrews was the designer.
They just came
Really
out
good
with
game.
the Sagrada Legacy. In fact, I think that people got it at Gen Con.
Mhm.
So
I
it's
only-
not something for me probably because you have to like do a bunch of drawing and coloring and you kind of create your own boards. That might be a little bit too much for me, but I really love Sagrada.
Yeah, that
As
doesn't sound... That, when you said Sagrada Legacy, I was like, ooh.
Yeah,
And
but
then
I
you
think
were like,
you actually take
coloring
like a
and-
sheet and you're like amending your sheet and coloring in and changing numbers
You don't have
and
dice and stuff?
you do,
Oh, you do.
but you're basically creating your sheet in between games
Oh.
to work off of. And I don't know exactly how that works. I'm not, but we really love Sagrada.
Yeah.
100%.
That's a good pick. You're going to have some bad picks to make this fun to watch, though.
So I had to just say Sagrada's making the list no matter what and just keep cutting stuff. So just
okay.
so make Sagrada.
Yep.
Sagrada
Okay.
it deserves a spot.
I'm sure I'll have enough bad picks to keep this interesting.
Me too. Me too. All right.
All right, here we go. My number 99 is a game that you probably also have not played. Maybe you have. I don't think you
There
have.
might be a lot of that.
There
on both of our
is...
lists.
My number 99 is a game called Heroes of Normandy.
I have not played it.
I didn't think so. Heroes of Normandy is kind of a take on miniature gaming, tabletop miniature gaming, without the miniatures. All of the units that you use are tiles with like top-down graphics on it. So you can see the unit there and it's top-down, but the cool thing about Heroes of Normandy was it had all of the different aspects that you want from a miniatures game, but instead of having to look on a sheet of paper or a book to get all of your stats are actually on the tile
Oh, nice.
that represents the unit. And if there's any terrain element that changes those, that's on the board.
Yeah.
So you literally don't have to look at your stat sheets or your stat
Like if your
things.
ranges or anything change,
Right.
it's right on the board.
Yeah,
where they're
it's
standing.
right on the board where it's standing. Now, there was some stuff that you had to look up, clarifications and stuff like that. I'm not saying you were totally devoid of using the rule book or anything like that, but it really cut out the need for looking into the rule book, generally speaking, especially for a miniatures-esque kind of game that didn't have the miniatures.
Yep.
And it's a World War II theme, Heroes of Normandy, but it was more of a kind of a cinematic World War II than a historical World War II, which was another cool thing about it. Devil Pig did a really good job of this. I got to play one time way back when with Clem, one of the designers, and he wiped the floor with me. But it was so much fun. And the game just really does a good job of capturing that miniatures game without all of the fuss because a lot of people who play miniatures games, the fuss of painting and putting together miniatures, that's part of the draw for them. But without all the fuss of miniatures. So that's my number 99, Heroes of Normandy by Devil Pig Games.
I kind of skipped that miniatures. I love miniatures, but I'm like miniature war games or miniature games like Hero Quest, stuff like that. I never really got into them.
Sure.
A lot of those.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's not for everybody. I always say that not all games are for all people, but
Yeah.
miniature gaming is even more so like that because there's so much else that goes on to it.
I think we have a lot in common in our gaming, like right in the middle. But you like the miniature, like war games. You're like on that edge,
Yeah.
And then I'm a little heavier on the heavy Euro side, right?
Yeah.
I slide heavy Euro, you slide miniatures, and then everything else works.
We do have a pretty thick, thin overlap though.
Yeah.
But yeah, our fringes are definitely
Yep.
in the opposite direction.
Indeed, my number 99. Well, we'll just go out and say it real quick. Is Mission Red Planet, second edition. We really like Mission Red Planet. Yep.
Nice.
Great game. People like to say, we started with Citadels, we play those kind of games. This one just adds enough extra. You have your hand of cards, your all of your different roles that you can play, but you're affecting the rocket's taking off, you're affecting Mars, you're affecting all of that. It's very interactive in the group. It's very exciting to see what everybody plays. Really fun group game.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. That the thing that I like the most about it is that deck of cards that you have that are your operatives and you're kind of silent choosing who you're going to be using each round, and then the area control aspect up on Mars. That's a really cool mechanisms that's kind of slid in there, and you don't really realize how important it is until it's almost too late.
Until it's too late, yep. And the board state can change so much, and it can get very chaotic with a bunch of people. Yep. Right? It can be very hard to manipulate and control, but it just makes it fun trying. So all the way to the very end. Yes, absolutely. Yep. All right, so far, so good. Yep. So what? So I got 2 good games, and he's got 2 good games. You don't know. I'm just kidding. All right, my number 8. Now, this one I know you've played. This is 98. 98. I was just looking at the 8. I'm sorry. I have a one-track mind. We jumped. Big. Number 98. My number 98 is Thunder Road Vendetta. Vendetta. Yeah. Number 98, Thunder Road Vendetta. Now, I have to be honest with you. I haven't played this game a whole lot. Sure. It's brand new, 2023. Brand new. Haven't played it a whole lot. But I've played it enough, and I've watched people at Origins play it to where I'm like, this is smashing, dice rolling, fun. Super fun. Yep. Period. End of discussion. You don't really have to go any more than that. Don't go playing this game looking for any more than that. Yep, that's right. This is just roll some dice, have some laughs, watch some things blow up, and drive into the wall. And drive into the wall. A couple times. And again. And again. And again. Yes. But it is so much fun. I watched some people play this and they had the beefed out Kickstarter version of it. Nice. With all of the different vehicles. And they were having so much fun. There was a lot of frustration, but it was like that fun frustration of like, oh man, I really wanted that to happen, but it was so cool when it blew up. It's pretty quick too. Oh man, it's super quick. Fast. Like there's no build up to the action, right? It's round 1, action starts, and the first game we played, we didn't get off the first board. I don't think one of us got off the first board. Was that you? No, that wasn't me. I died. I think halfway through the first board. I don't think it must have been Jess then. We did play a 3-player game, but we barely got off of the first board. That was awesome. Because we were just like pedal to the metal, balls to the wall, and it was just a lot of fun. Now, it is a 2023 game, but is it a remake? It's a remake. It is a remake. Yeah, that's what Restoration Games does. Yeah. They take old games. Rob Davio, waves his wand over it and just revitalizes the rule set, and they republish it. So it is kind of a remake of an older game, but it's just brand new to the table this year. So that is my number 98, Thunder Road Vendetta. That's a really good one. On to my number 98, interesting enough, is another 2023 game, although it's not a remake. This is, I guess it's a sequel. This is Valor and Villainy, Ludwig's Labyrinth. I've never even heard of this one. So this one is... I want to say, I should say that. I want to say it's the kids' version of, Zombicide and stuff like that. It's almost like that. Me and Hawken have played, 8 or 9 games of this. Mel's played it. It's really fun. You're starting out with your 4 little characters, or your characters, however many you got, I guess, in the middle. The story goes that, your main pizza maker has been kidnapped by the goblins and taken to hell, I think. That's pretty close. And you're going to find him so you can get good pizza. It's true. You're fighting little monsters. You're getting gear. You're getting bombs on the board. You're leveling up. And it has a really neat level up mechanic. We don't care that he's in hell. Yep. We just need our pizza. We need our pizza. They stole our pizza guy. And you got one character that walks around in a mech. You got... your characters are adorable. You got an old wizard. But you start out, and I think there's a range, there's a magic, and there's a melee abilities. Mm-hmm. And you start out with either red, yellow, or white abilities. Red ones are the best. Yellow and then white are the weakest. And depending, so maybe my melee attack has a red, a yellow, and a white. If I'm going to do a melee attack, I get 1 red dice, 1 yellow dice, and 1 white dice. So when it's time to level up, you're just making your dice better.
Got it.
And you're just going through this little scenario, just like a Zombicide, or just like a. It's really fun. The
But it's all
characters are
fantasy
great.
themed.
It's all fantasy themed.
That's
There's a boss at the end of the scenario that you have to beat.
Now
It's really fun.
That's
It's
high
super fun.
fantasy when pizza is involved.
When pizza's involved, yep.
That's high fantasy.
In fact, they broke up our pizza party to steal him. So we just jumped headfirst into the portal right behind him. But
right.
Valor and Villainy, Ludwig's Labyrinth. My son is 8, and we love it.
Ludwig's Labyrinth.
We love
Valor
it, yep.
and Villainy. That's cool.
Yep.
All right, my number 7 is number 97. I keep looking at the last number. Stupid. I always do something stupid on these things, so I guess if that's going to be the stupid thing I do, then that's going to be the stupid thing I do.
That works.
Number 97, Power Grid. Power Grid. Now, you've played this one.
I've played this one.
Yeah, and you...
I'm upset this is that low.
See, I told you it's going to happen. I was going to bring the bad stuff.
No.
I was going to bring the bad stuff. Yeah, here's the thing. I recognize Power Grid for the classic board game that it is. It has attained that classic echelon of board games, and it's one of those that people kind of almost revere. And I'm like, cool, I'm with you on that. I just really suck at it. So I don't really have a lot of fun playing it, which is why it's low.
That makes sense.
That's it.
I understand that. And everybody calls it a very mathy game.
Yes.
Which it is. It's a lot of, you're mathing out everything you got to do. How much can I buy? How much resources do I need? Can I get that? Can I get this?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a great game. It's a great spot 97 for it. It's an awesome spot.
So I guess it's going to be higher on his list. I guess we'll
Spoilers.
talk about it
I am
again.
probably not, just so we all know, I am not like a professional reviewer or YouTube guy or top one. That's my first top 100, so spoilers might happen.
Yeah, spoilers are going to happen, and I don't care if they happen.
Yep. Power Grid, that's a great pick.
Yep.
Obviously.
All right, what's up?
My number 97. So there are a few games that I play. There's a few games that we all play. I'm one of those guys that's like, oh, I'm a serious gamer. There's games that I'm not going to play because they're mainstream and stuff like that until I play them, and then they get stuck in my head, and then I start playing them.
Oh, snap. Those are really fun.
Yeah, they're really fun. My number 97 is one of those, and that's Cartographers or Cartographer's Heroes.
I haven't played this one yet.
One of the things that I've done with my list is if something has multiple versions, I just pick the version that I like best, and I just stick it on there. So you're not going to see those two separated. You're not going to see some of those things separated. But my number 97 is Cartographer's Heroes, which is a flip and write. Flip and write's the right word. Yep, you're creating your own little map out of forests and towns and or villages and water and all of those kind of things, and you have to meet the scoring cards, and it has a really cool scoring theme where there's 4 scoring cards, and you're going to score 2 of those at a time. So first round you're going to score A and B, next one you're going to score B and C. So B will score twice, but then after second round, B is no longer ever going to score again. So you're modifying what you're doing every round to try to
games that do that.
To try to hit your 2. But Cartographer Heroes is great.
That's cool. I've never played it, but I like the idea behind it, and I really like that scoring mechanism that you described there. I do want to go back to something else that you said. I may or may not have chosen a different route making my list.
Yeah, that's okay. We didn't have any set rules.
No, we did not, and I definitely didn't follow that rule.
That's okay too.
Well, there's one title that I kind of did. I kind of threw all of it into one.
Yeah.
And
unless
we'll talk about
unless there was a significant difference between them, which there are some that are significant difference between them, so I pulled them apart. But otherwise, I kind of lumped them all together. I'll tell you which one I like best.
My top 50 probably has, with that logic, the same game in each of the different segments.
That's okay. It must be a really good game.
Sorry, not sorry.
That's a really good game. If you can put it on there 5 times.
It's not fun. So, it's like maybe 3, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's all right.
We'll get to that later.
Yep.
All right, my number 96 is a game.
I know what it is already.
Called, because he looked at it. It's number 96 is a game called Planet. Planet is a game that, probably wouldn't have been in my top 100 back in the day.
Sure.
Just wouldn't have been there. But I've not really had a transformation.
He's grown up.
But my... Yes, that's a good way to put it. I'm all grown up now, Papa. The tactile experience that the game gives me, Planet that is,
sure.
of piecing that globe, that hexagonal globe together and making it your own, that's what really pulls it in for me. The scoring and all of that other kind of stuff is kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. Let's go back to building my globe.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the game. I still find it fun to try to do all of the scoring and try to get those animals to habitate your planet. That's still fun. But I don't really care if I do well. I'm still having fun building that planet. Yeah. And that's one of the main reasons why it's on my list, is simply that tactile experience of that magnetic globe and those magnetic tiles and piecing them together. I think that's great fun. And I think it's a gimmick, but it's so thematic that it's cool for me. Yeah. So that's why number 96 is Planet.
It's a really neat game. I mean, it's another. I think, unfortunately, as I've gotten older, I've gotten softer with those kind of games too. So, no, just kidding. It's a fun game to just sit down and play and to piece together and everything else. And, yeah.
Well, Cascadia is like really popular right now. Mm-hmm. If you like Cascadia, I think you should at least give a look to Planet. Because it's very similar. Yeah. It's just one is like 2D and the other one's 3D. That's really the biggest difference. And Cascadia's scoring is a little bit more difficult to grok, and there's more ways to score in Cascadia. But I think if you like Cascadia...
But in Planet, you're only... How many sides are on that thing? 8? 12? I don't remember. There's not a ton of sides on that thing.
I think it's a 12. I think it's a 12-sided.
So you're making less decisions over the course, so each decision means a little bit more.
Yeah.
And... but it is very cool to see everybody's end result too.
Yeah, I do. I like it a lot. Number 96, Planet.
Right on. My number 96 is the best version of a game that I don't like. I'm just kidding. This is the only version of this game that I like. How's that? And that is Codenames Duet.
Okay.
Codenames, I'm not a fan of. Too many... code names I am not a fan of. My family loves code names. No offense to my family, but playing with them, I want to pull my hair out, and I have way too much hair for that.
Some familial strife going on.
But Codenames Duet, Melissa and I can play it over and over and over, and we just have a blast. Like, you just laugh your tail off by the time we're done with that game.
I'm sorry, I'm looking up to see if I can say more. Okay, I can. Codenames did not make my top 100. The only one that would have made my top 100 is Codenames Pictures.
Yeah.
And it was in the running.
Yeah.
It was in the 120, but it didn't make the cut for 100.
Yeah, and we tried Pictures. Like I said, my family, I played a lot of Codenames with them. I picked up Codenames Disney to play with my son, but that was actually, he's just as good at Duet as he is with Pictures or with Disney. So, in fact, he doesn't watch very much Disney stuff anymore. I don't think kids nowadays watch as much Disney stuff as they did 20 years ago. But
it's all on the YouTube nowadays.
Yeah. So, but Codename Duet is a great game. We have a blast.
Cool. All right, my number 95 is a game called Odin's Ravens. Odin's Ravens. This is a really neat, simple 2-player race game where each person controls one of Odin's Ravens, and you're trying to race throughout the entirety of Midgard to be the first to return to Odin. And you're basically playing land cards to move your your Raven across these different lands. If you can manage to get a bunch of the same lands together, you can just use one card to go over multiple land areas. There are Loki cards that you can use to kind of break some of the rules or make it, throw some obstacles in the way of your opponent, those kinds of things. But it's a really simple, I would like to say it's compact, but it really isn't, because you have to lay out 16 of those land cards.
It's compact when you carry it to the table.
But when you lay it out, it's like, my goodness, how long does this game have to be?
It's a full-size game.
We actually played one time on an Amtrak train, and we had a table that was smaller than, it was maybe a quarter of this table.
You did a loop and come
and
up
we
and
just
around.
did this loop back and forth, bunch of hairpins, and we were able to get it done, and it was fun. But man alive, that is a table hog for such a small game.
Yeah.
But that's my number 95, Odin's Ravens.
I taught this to Melissa on the cruise, and
oh yeah,
it was super fun.
Very cool.
My number 95 is again the better of two versions, and when I say better of two versions, just slightly better. Actually, I shouldn't even say it's better of two versions. They're both fantastic, and that is Horrified American Monsters.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I do like American Monsters slightly better. We all grew up with all of the original stuff, right?
It's another knuckle bump.
But American Monsters is super fun. Horrified, super fun. I can play it with anybody. You can teach it to anybody. They jump right in and get excited about what's going on.
Yep.
The monsters all have different powers. I'm hoping they come up with some expansions for this one, because I think that was kind of the plan. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
The original Horrified is fantastic as well, but Horrified American Monsters is my number 95.
Yep. I totally agree with that pick over the original Horrified for the same reason. You're not really dealing with a better game per se. It's just that, are you going to like how you have to beat the new monsters versus how you have to beat the old monsters? Yep. And I found that the American Monster set just had a little bit more...
A little bit better mechanics.
Yeah.
Maybe not better mechanics, but a little bit...
It was better. I enjoyed them more than the original one. But the original one was still really good, very thematic for all the different monsters that you had to beat. But the same thing is also true in American Monsters, and I had more interest in American Monsters than the ones that were in that than in the original. But anyway, cool pick. All right, my number 94 is a legacy game called My City. And you actually introduced us to this game by showing it to my wife and I, and we decided to go ahead and pick it up as well. And we really enjoyed it. We haven't played through all of the episodes yet. We haven't played all of the legacy games because we've gotten to a certain point, and then we're at a point now where we can just play it with other people and show them how to play the game in the one-off version of the game. And we enjoy doing that as well. But we're really itching to get back to.
Do you like
playing
the one-off
legacy
version of the game? Is it fun?
We
haven't got that far.
It's fun enough.
Yeah,
it's fun enough. My thing with the game is that I like it more for the spatial organization aspect of it, of trying to fix that puzzle of trying to get as many pieces on the board as I can. That's what I really enjoy about it. I don't really care about the legacy aspect of it, but I really enjoy that.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't need it to enjoy the game. If that makes sense.
I think this will be one of those games. We're not quite finished with it either. You know, you start a game, you get halfway through it, then you move to something else, and got to get it back. Plus, Melissa's in school full time, so she's. But so that's been tough. But it's a great game. I told Melissa I cannot buy My Island. I will not buy My Island until My City is done. That's just the way it is.
I am not so foolish as to make such. It's
a good game. And
outlandish promises.
And I believe it was like 106 for me.
106?
Yeah.
Just missed it, huh?
Just missed it.
All right. Well, that's My City, number 94.
Yep. My number 94 is probably a controversial pick. I don't think it has really good ratings, and that is Dice Theme Park. Dice Theme Park is I don't want to say it's the spiritual successor to Dice Hospital, or kind of in that, but it's almost a mix between the Dice Hospital and something like Dinosaur Island. In this one, you're creating a theme park, starting with your park entrance, and you're grabbing new attractions and restaurants and things like that to fill it out, and then you're drafting in visitors, and depending on their colors and their numbers, they'll want to do different things in your park, but you have to give them a path. Like this yellow 6, he wants to go here, and then he wants to go to the roller coaster, then he wants to go here, and every time he goes somewhere, he's going to tick down, because he's going to get bored of being in your park eventually. He is. So you're going to create this path and try to get as much enjoyment and money out of him as you can before he leaves. So it's this really spatial puzzle with dice drafting, which I love again, and then just making them happy. And you have cards, you have administrators, and you have mascots and different things like that will help manipulate the dice. But
cool.
Dice Theme Parks, really fun game. Great spatial awareness and nice dice drafting. So.
Cool. That's cool. I haven't played that one. Sounds interesting though. All right, my number 93. My number 93 is a game called King Domino. King Domino. Now, King Domino was a Spiel des Jahres winner way back. Well, I don't even know what year it was. 2000 something.
Yeah.
But if you know the concept of dominoes and having to lay dominoes to where like numbers are touching, then you basically have the basic concept of what King Domino is. But with King Domino, you're trying to build your kingdom in such a way that will score you the most points by the end of the game. But you're doing that by drafting these domino tiles that have sometimes they have two sides on them, and they sometimes it's the same land on both sides, sometimes it's different. But you have to piece together your kingdom by drafting these different dominoes and putting them into your 5x5 grid of things. And it's a super fun spatial organization game. And
you should get 10 extra
really
points
pretty.
for the Plesiosaurus. He's always in the water. Yep. Remember he's
that's right. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Plesiosaurus. Is that what they're called? Plesiosaurus?
Yeah.
Okay. So
King Domino is a great game. King Domino Origins is a great game.
That artwork is there, and it's unused.
That's right. Completely unused.
It should be something.
All those cool little details. No, it's great.
Do something with that, Bruno.
Yep.
Do something with it.
And thanks for the game, by the way.
Yes, thanks for the game. Number 93, my number 93, King Domino.
My number 93 is Great Western Trail, 2nd edition. I really like Great Western Trail. Of all the Euros that I play, it's one of the easier, kind of smoother, mid-weight.
Really?
Yeah.
Man. Wow.
It's kind of a light one to me, or it is. It's right there. This is the introductory to heavier Euros, right?
My goodness.
But I have a confession to make. Obviously, obviously that's not the right way. I have Great Western Trail Argentina. I haven't played it yet. I've had it for 6 months and I haven't played it yet. And they just came out with Great Western Trail New Zealand, where you're sheep farming instead of cow farming. And there's a bunch of different mechanics in both of those.
I'm gonna call.
I don't have New Zealand.
I'm gonna call flag on that. Great Western Trail is all about the American
I
West.
agree with that 100%.
So why are they going into other countries?
We got to do something if you want more money.
Got to make more money.
That's right.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Great Western Trail's a really fun game. Great Euro. I enjoy it a lot. I'm not even a Western themed kind of person per se, but I do enjoy the game.
No, that's cool. Yeah. I don't dislike the game. It's just it is not a light Euro game.
It's a
middle
Euro game.
This crazy person doesn't.
No,
he knows what he's
Western
talking about
Trail's
for his own opinion.
Right in the middle.
It's a mid-weight Euro game?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
100%. And it has great theme. I think anytime you can take a game like that, not to sidetrack, but anytime you can take a game like that and you can actually see the theme of collecting cows, and you're just collecting cards and you're running them down here and you're going to dump them off and send them off. But you still have the theme of the cowboys and the bandits and all the different things going on. And that theme connects it well enough to make the Great Western Trail make sense. So.
Okay. All right, my number 92 is affectionately known in my household as the poop game. And that is Pecunia non Ole. Put out by Norris Games. It's a German game, really, but I think some English versions have been made, but I actually own a German version of the game. And basically, Pecunia non Ole, which is, I believe, Latin for money doesn't stink.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that's what that means. Is as money doesn't stink, and basically what you are is you're a Roman entrepreneur trying to make an honest buck, and so you're going to have some outhouses strategically placed throughout Rome, and you're just basically trying to get as many people to do their business in your outhouse as possible. And each character comes with a statistic on it, which tells you how many logs they are going to drop.
Yeah.
And some of them only have to drop 2. Some of them only have to drop 2. They're in and out. They're done. Other ones, they had,
have to hang out for a while.
Some bad fish tacos for lunch, and now they have to hang out for a long time. But you're trying to get as many patrons through your outhouse as possible. And the last time I taught this game, it was with my oldest son, Michael, his friend, and his friend's wife. Mm-hmm. And I cannot tell you how sophomoric that experience was with my son and his buddy Danny. Just cracking poop jokes after poop jokes after poop jokes. It derailed quickly. At one point, I actually looked at Danny's wife and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we've done this. Will you please forgive me? And so that is Pecunia non Ole, my number 92. If you've not heard of it, go look it out. It is a superbly sophomoric game, and it is very fun.
It's very fun. It's very enjoyable.
There's not a whole lot of strategy there.
Art is really good.
Yes.
As you can imagine.
The artwork's pretty good,
Roman Porta-Johns.
Yep. There you go.
Everybody's got to start somewhere. All right. My number 92 is from Elf Creek Games.
Ooh.
And that is Merchants of the Dark Road.
Okay.
Even if I never played this game again in my life, just having all of those beautiful components is enough to stay in my collection forever. Merchants of the Dark Road is a rondel type of game where you're moving around a city in a circle and you're doing different actions. You're collecting items. You're getting loots and stabs and all the things that you would need back then in the Middle Ages or whatnot. And then eventually, once your wagon is full, you're taking your wagon and you're going to these different towns and you're selling. You're taking visitors to the towns with you. It has a really nice mechanic to where you're playing like 2 halves of the board. Have you played this one?
Nope, I haven't. But I was just thinking, I was kind of staring off into the distance, and I was like, man, how many games have rondels that I've enjoyed? And there are a lot of them.
Yeah.
I really enjoy rondel mechanisms. I don't know why, but it's just one of those things I can latch onto, I guess.
But there's a market in here, and there's a really cool piece where there's a rotating market with the 5 or 6 different items you can get, potions and staffs and armor and all those things. And as you take from that market or buy from that market, the values will change. So you have to also kind of know when to get rid of stuff, when to sell stuff, based on when the market is. And it's really fun. And then they have that element when you leave the town to go to these, it's kind of a secondary gameplay, but to go to these different settlements to take people and to drop off goods, everybody else can join you on that journey. And it's basically, that's what they call the Dark Road. You're the merchants, you're picking everything up, then you're taking the Dark Road, you're going to flip over an encounter card, and different things will happen. And it's all based on dice, and it's a really fun game, and it's a beautiful production.
That's cool.
I know I didn't explain it very well, but I really like Merchants of the Dark Road.
If we can't play the game after a 90-second explanation, you failed.
Oh.
Just... All right. Finally, at least for this segment, my number 91 is a newer game called Valbara. Valbara is a set collection card game. So basically the lore behind the game is we are all people that are landing on this unknown island, undiscovered island, and we are trying to settle this island and be the best chieftain with our villagers that you get the most points and blah, blah, blah. So basically, what you're doing is there are 6 different land types in the game, and you're trying to collect those different sets. You get bonus points for having 5 out of the 6 in your tableau. You get 10 bonus points if you have all 6. That's kind of small potatoes. During the course of the game is where you're going to score the bulk of your points. And the bulk of your points is simply taken by taking the land and adding it to your tableau, and each land scores points differently. So like the pastures will score points for each copy of pastures that's in your tableau and your neighbor's tableau.
Oh, I like that.
And then like forests just give you a straight up number of points from, I think, 3 to 6. Mountains will not score you any points the first time you take mountains. The second time you take a mountain card into your tableau, it scores you 10 points.
Is this a pretty new game?
Yeah, it's brand new. Well, I don't know, it's brand new. It's by Studio H. I think it came out either this year or last year, so it's pretty stinking new. Valbara,
but it's all cards.
All cards.
Oh,
All cards.
I want to play it.
So that's just the set collection aspect of it. The other aspect of it is your hand is comprised of the different villagers, and everybody has the same villagers and the same powers in their hand, but it's simultaneous selection. Turn it over. This is what I get to do on this turn. This is what they do on this turn, and that either gives you a boon or it gives somebody else a slight boon, but you get to pick first. You know, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So it's a really fun card game, and I've really enjoyed it. The one thing that made me want to purchase this game first, I knew nothing about the game. The artwork is that phenomenal on the cards. So
that one I'm interested in.
Yeah, for sure. So it's just a great game. My number 91, Valbara.
It reminds me of another game we will be talking about sometime in the next few months.
Hashtag spoilers.
Maybe. Don't trust me. It's okay. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. That one sounds great. I can't wait to try that one. My number 91, which is the best of this list. So we went through 20 games. This is the top game of those 20 for sure. No, I'm just I'm joking. And you're going to be excited about it.
Oh.
Is a Stefan Feld game. It's called Bonfire.
I've never even heard of this.
Bonfire is a great game. It's classic Stefan Feld in all the ways of all the mechanics and all the toughness and the roughness and the... Now this one's a heavy Euro game.
I imagine.
But you're gnomes, and you're trying to bring light back to the world. I think, so you're building these bonfires, but to get the bonfires, you have to...
trying to bring light back to the world by burning it down.
You're I can't think the word. They're not called spirits, but you're getting these... They're like spirits. I can't think of the name right now, but you're collecting them. You're collecting the different colored bonfires. You're creating this tableau your board it's just a very, very... I don't even know how to explain it completely.
Well, at least you admitted that you're bored.
Yeah, you're not bored. It's very deep and very nice.
Very
and pretty.
Very deep. All right,
it's not brown. It's colorful.
I get you.
It's a colorful Stefan Feld.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
That almost seems like a contradiction in terms.
Stefan
Feld is definitely known for his well thought out designs, but yeah, he usually does tend to be a little bit heavier than I've liked. But
and I can't,
most of it,
I can't beat Mel at this either.
That means it's super crunchy. So. Is it? I guess it's a point salad game then, right? Because that's pretty much Stefan Feld's kind of...
No, it's not very tight. So,
really?
Yep. You're collecting a pathway and a bonfire, and you're using... I wish I could... Oh, they're called guardians. There's different colored guardians, and you're literally building... Like this semicircle has multiple bonfires on it, and you have to collect... You have to connect pathways to each of those bonfires, and then you have to connect a road that the guardians can go around to get to the bonfires. And so you're scoring based on how far you get with each of those, how they match. Is it a red one with a red one with a red one? Is it a blue one and a blue one? Like, it's very tight.
I get you, man. That sounds...
It's very tight.
Super
very
boring.
No, it's not.
But I'm willing to try it. But yeah.
But it's heavy.
Yeah.
Very heavy.
All right. Well, that's our first installment of our top 100 games of all time, the 223 edition.
Right
from
on.
Sam and JT. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This was actually his idea, He said, you need to do it top 100. And I was like, I'll do it if you'll join me. And he said, all right.
Every human being in this world that loves Sam Healy needs to see his top 100.
I don't know about needs to.
They need to.
After
a 5-year break.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Wisdom. A little bit more. I don't know about that either. We'll see, though. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side.
See you later.
Take care.